Yo, it's Guido, and we are moving on in the What's the Best. We have moved on to the Tier 9 TDs, the heavy hitters. There is a lot of armor. The big guns really start coming out at Tier 9. They really do. So I've got the Tortoise there. It's definitely a contender, but let's look at the numbers. We're going to go by the numbers, and then I'm going to make up the rules, and then I'm going to just decide who is number one. This one's close. The coffee's nice, by the way. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Have a nice cup of tea, coffee, cocoa. I don't know. Is it cocoa time yet? I don't think so. Getting close, though, isn't it? We are near the end of summer. Anywho, the best Tier 9 TD. Well, what do the numbers say? Very interesting, actually. We're looking at win rate first, and the Tortoise is number one with T95 second. Got the WZ in there. That surprised me a bit. The Chinese tank's number 3. Interesting. Very interesting. DPG, what do we got? Douche. Tortoise, T95. Ooh, WZ, a 111 GFT. Okay. Is that the new one? It is not, right? No, that is the Tier 9 one. That is not the new Tier 9 one. That would be the WZ 120. That is not showing up on the radar yet. Be interesting to see where that one shows up. Tortoise, T95 on DPG. Frags, Foch Tortoise, T95. So the Foch jumps in there. Damage ratio. Well, this is where they both kind of drop. We got the T95 down here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so, and the T95, yeah, 6, and Tortoise even lower. Kill to Death, T95 number 1, Tortoise number 3. Survival, T95 second, surprisingly, just edging it out is the WZ-111 GFT. Although look at the battles played, we'll get to that in just a moment. Sturv, the old hiding tank. All right, so what does that mean? I did the old count-up thing. It really looks like, folks, it's the Tortoise and the T95 that are in the running for the number 1 Tier 9 TD right now in the current meta. If I add those up, if I go from win rate all the way to survival and ignore spots, I get about 21 points for the Tortoise and about 16 points for the T95. The Tortoise, though, gets the edge in having the best win rate, the best DPG, and a higher frag in terms of those two. So in those points, where the extra points come in really hard for the Tortoise is here on damage ratio, because of that small gun, I would say, which is interesting, is lower at 1.03 with the T95 at 1.16. Not a huge difference, but significant. And then the kill to death, the T95 is 2 points higher right there. So we got killed by the damage ratio, which is just one stat right there. I am going to call it, my friends. I am going to call it for the Tortoise, mainly because of the win rate and the DPG and the frags all being 1, 1, and then 1 higher, obviously 2, but T95 rolling down to 3rd. But I think it's a close call. You guys let me know down below which one of those two you think is actually the number 1 TD. Look, all the standard caveats. I don't even know if I should really even address all this stuff. But if you've got a tank that you do better with, that you like better, I totally get it. But we're just talking numbers in the current meta. The thing that also is an argument for the T95, and it may be a double whammy actually, so this one was hard. I'm going to call it for the Tortoise, but I think I'm going to play both for you. The thing about the T95 is I believe it's on track. So there are so many things that go into these stats. You can't take them as singular ones. I tend to rate win rate higher just because that's kind of how, personally, I feel the goal of the game is to win the match. So there you go. This is randoms. These numbers are taken out of randoms. So I just feel like if you're saying, all right, what's the best Tier 9 TD right now in the current meta in randoms that's going to give me the best chance to win based on numbers, we're looking at it being the Tortoise, followed up closely by the T95. So let's take a quick look at how I have both those set up, and then we'll play some games. For the Tortoise, this is very try-hard. I actually have some improved stuff on this. The reason is I'm trying to get a couple missions done with it. So I'm running rammer, vents, and turbo to get around a bit. Have a pretty good crew, but not amazing. They're 2 skills. They do have brothers in arms working on their 3rd, so that's a little bit of a limp fact. It's also a big crew, fellas. 6 people, right? There's 2 loaders in there. Oh my goodness gracious. So intuition is 100% on one and 84 on the other. Although it reloads so fast, intuition is not quite as useful as it is on a longer reload, say like a T95. But it gets me down to a 0.28 dispersion with all this equipment, an aim time of 1.59, and a reload of 5.55. I mean, this thing just spits rounds down range. I could probably drop a reloading directive on that and make it even better. In fact, I will probably for the fights I'm going to have. T-95, we're going to take a look at that. Again, not an amazing crew, but only 4 people in there. I think I'm done with my... Nope, I am not done with my field mods on either one, although I am close with the Tortoise. In fact, I can select my second bonus slot, so I will do that, although it's not going to help me, frankly, with the setup I've got right here, unfortunately, but I will select that in a moment. And then if we get to the T-95, let's see, probably less of these are done. No, yep, haven't even started on it. I've got a little bit of combat experience, but not enough to even get one of them done. The crew I already talked about. We're running a rammer hardening, and then we've got the IRM so we can spin this behemoth around a little bit better right there and maybe not lose as much as we're moving the gun around. Not as try-hard. So, those are some of the things when I'm going to play these 2 tanks. One's really set up. The other one is ish set up. So take all that with a grain of salt, but we'll take a look at how they fight. Generally, what you got here is 2 heavily armored tanks, one with a very fast-firing kind of pew-pew gun, really, for a Tier 9 TD. The other one, very slow. They're both very slow, but with a bunch of armor and one great big hammer gun with a reload of 15.18. Holy cow, that's forever right there. 2.34 in the aim time and 0.36 dispersion, so nowhere near as accurate as the Tortoise. But let's take a look at a game in each one of these and see how they go. Alright, we're just going to do this live. I know I've gone back and forth on this. This is an interesting setup here. There is no artillery, which is very good news for a T-95, and I'm top tier with Tier 7s. Absolutely crazy. I think I'm just going to go down in the city and try to do what a T-95 is sort of designed to do. There's another option here. I could go 1-2 line and just kind of push up that very slowly. It's very possible that fight's over by the time I get there. Now I'm seeing everyone go that way, so I'm feeling like I really wanted to go that way. I am not really going to be able to push down low, so I'm going to be more of a stopper, I believe. So we will do that. We'll head off in there. You're going nowhere fast. You could probably run a turbo on this thing if I'm honest. That would help you get there a little bit faster. There's a fairly significant difference between 20 and 25, my friends, so... We'll cruise along here. Just watch the spotting rings when you're a tank like this, in the open like this. If they come a little closer, they may spot you. That's why I'm not really cutting the corner very much there. It has great armor forward, but it does tend to get penned from the side. We'll come on in here. Of course, if there's artillery, you really don't want to be caught out in the open right there, because the artillery just keep bombarding you. People will be trying to track you, and it just becomes a gigantic nightmare. So CS-44's in there. We got a nice push going on the other side. So now I'm turning the corner, and we're going to come on in here into the city. What guns over there am I really concerned with? Almost none of them, to be honest. If they're accurate enough, they might be able to snipe my hatches, so that is something to think about. The K91, yeah, he's got a nice rate of fire and a pretty good pen with his special round, so I would want to watch out for my lower plate or hatches getting plink, plink, plink by that guy. Now, the big thing for the T-95 is allowing somebody to get around onto your side. That's just no bueno. We're going to get in here and see what we got. Looks like people might be shooting in here a little bit. This thing does not have much camo, so it does tend to get spotted even when it gets into some of these bushes. If somebody has a CBS or decent spotting there right now. There's the IS, so we're actually going to come around this way. Alright, so the 274 Alpha's taking shots at me. That's fine. Let's head over this way. It would have been really nice to have caught that IS out. Oh, good, he is still there. I like it. Okay, so we light him on fire, make him go away, we'll back out. We're going to use this building right here to cover us from the CS-44. There's no artillery, which is very nice. Alright, so we'll head off this way then. 50 TP PR, there are a considerable number of tanks down here. I don't have a whole lot of support, I do have some. Yeah, there's a lot of fellers. Oh, there's a bunch. Alright, so the PT is in here as well. Something to think about. So I don't want to get too overextended, but I would really love to just surprise somebody taking a peek over here. I do want to watch for the CS finding me, though. I may have to pull back, especially if my buddies start to lose hit points over here. Yeah, so we're getting hit from multiple directions here. Yeah, really like to push, but the problem is they own this area back. There's so many of them back here. I feel like I'm going to start getting tracked, and they're going to come on my side. See the 1357 moving up, so if we can get up here and maybe get a sneaky shot on the CS44. Alright, I got spotted, so it must have been the CS44 that saw me. Probably that little crack right there. Well, I'm not sure, to be honest, what actually saw me, so that's a difficult one. Oh, 274 Alpha's coming at me. Oh. Ricochet, wow. Alright. So this dude looks like he wants to come in and challenge me. That's very interesting. I don't know if he knows I'm here. Alright, well, he should die. I'm not too worried about him then. We'll let him go on by. 1 hit point, though. He's dead, that's good. Dispersion let me down a little bit. We're starting to get a win. It might be time to press in here and see if I can't. Oh, okay, so all my guys are a little bit hurt. Let's see if we can force the situation here with the T95 armor. Okay. T91, K91 is the one I'm worried about, so we're just going to back out. I'm going to come up top. I'm going to hope these guys can actually push and kill the CS44. Unfortunately, the 1357 is getting rocked. Oh, there we go. This guy's right here. Okay, ricochet, that's fine. We're going to back out. We do have a kit left, so I'm not too worried about getting tracked. And the CS44 is still there. Okay, we've got 2 guys trying to make moves here. It's very interesting. So we got him down. Alright, very nice. Renegade, 50T, TPR. The CS44 is still the thing that's sort of keeping me honest here. I have a couple friends back here. Nice, the Black Prince got hammered. Alright, there goes the CS44. So now it's time to push. We're actually going to go to gold on this. I don't suspect, based on counting numbers, that there is anybody on my right side in the middle. The other side is winning by a mile, so I feel like I'm going to probably come around this corner and start owning people. Still don't want to really get... Alright, let's just come around this corner here. Repair the driver there. Got a long time before we reloaded, so just back out a bit. K91 PT is probably waiting for me to push in, start shooting me in the side and keeping me tracked. Very curious where he is, to be honest. Oh, he's way back there. Okay, that's not bad. We're just going to push in past the Black Prince then. Gonna ignore the Black Prince who's being handled probably. This dude may make a runner. Got him on auto aimed. Okay, dead anyway. Black Prince is dead behind me, so I'll keep going. I'm actually gonna go ahead and just load regular. Renegade's falling all the way back there. PT sees me, obviously. He just took a shot. Not reloaded. There he is. A lot of stuff in my way here. Can't really see what I'm shooting at. Okay, that's fine. We're going to go to gold after that. So this is what I'm worried about with the PT. He's just got that nice gold, fairly accurate gun. I'm not going to expose myself to the Renegade for any reason. Okay, so we thump him. There we go. A little wiggle. Makes it harder for him. I don't want to give a side shot to the Renegade unless I have to. Okay, so he's trying to kill that guy because he knows he can hit him. There we go. So we'll just auto aim this guy. Nope, never mind. He's dead. So we got 3,902. We ended up with 1 kill, 307 assist on that. I mean, that game, lucky for me, that was the one that came up. That game was built for the T95, to be quite honest. It's actually useful sometimes with the T95 in a situation like that to kind of let them know you're there. That way they don't push in mass, at which point they might have been able to get around me and mess with me. I didn't have a whole lot of friends. They would have got pretty wrecked pushing in, but you never know because they had a decent amount of their power down there. The rest of the map was winning by miles, so there was just no real reason for me to get too crazy, but just sitting back in the bush in a tank like that is not necessarily always the greatest idea. And then once they know it's a T95, they're not really that interested in trying to push and eating a couple shots before they can even get close. Plus, I was supported decently by all my buddies right there, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's go on to the Tortoise. All right, the Tortoise, not as friendly of a match for the Tortoise. We are here on Himmel's Karelia Dorf. I'm going to head over, I think, to the south. The bummer with the Tortoise is this big hatch, and the bummer on this particular side is when I come around this corner, the right side of my tank is exposed, so the hatch is exposed. I'm actually planning to get into the bush over there, so we're going to see what happens. I don't think I'm going to be able to get there fast enough to maybe hit one of their mediums with the Hesh. Now I am running a turbo, so you will notice, even though this thing is only, I think it's actually about the same speed as a T95. You see that extra 5 kilometers an hour just makes it feel like it's, you know, moving 500 times faster. Now I'm not getting a whole lot of, Kronwagen just about lost some hit points on that little jumper. Got a lot of guys going to the north, so when you're playing the T95 and the Tortoise, and I feel like this is a game where I may have to do this, you've got to think about your reposition early. You can't let it go too long. If you realize you're going to have to reposition, most of the time, by the time you realize it, you're late. Now this is a bummer because the object is actually pushing up in there. If he gets close enough, he's going to start seeing me. In fact, he may see me right here. Yep. That's not good. Now I'm just an arty magnet. That was a Hesh round in the side, and quite the bummer, actually. Alright, so we're going to get out of here. We just can't quite get up to where I want to be. The 140 has stopped that action. Our Kron is over there, although he got absolutely murdered trying to get up in there. I'm going to go to APCR now. I feel like I'm going to be point shooting through the heavy armor of just about anybody. The FV is on the north side, which is very interesting. Someone just got absolutely thrashed. Well, that went right into the dirt. Alright, so there's a 110E4, and my guess is that dude is in the frickin'... So I'm watching that Kron. If we lose that Kron, there he is. He's not where I thought he was. Okay, that's alright. Okay. That was the grill. We're going to just go ahead and fix the gun. So the grill's actually back in that spot. Very interesting. Is this dude going to show himself? I want to shoot that grill with Hesh, actually. Did we lose the hill? Kind of. Seemed like he was there, huh? There. Very interesting. How's this dude making a rudder? He's not. Alright, is he actually on this corner? Because it's just outside of the draw range. Crazy. Alright, that's very surprising. Alright, so the 110E4 is the guy that's still there. There is an artillery. 7501 just pushed. That's no bueno. This IS-3 is kind of hurting my feelings right here. GFT, huh? Oh, Just hit that guy. Alright, now I've got to run. Yep. Now, let's hold what we got here. Let's see if those guys up there can actually do some damage to these dudes. He's not there. I've probably outstayed my welcome here, my friends. Yep. Yeah, there's too many of them here. Alright, let's not give the gorilla a shot he doesn't deserve. Yeah, we gotta get out of here. This is not gonna work well for me. Okay, I'm gonna back out of that. He could easily outsee me. I'm gonna try to actually get behind this other corner here. North push is doing... Actually, you know what? They may have turned around. So let's see what we can do to apply pressure from them on this side. Yeah. Very interesting how this guy showed up, huh? Ah! Just like that. The armor does not hold up to all the gold spammed at me. Alright, well there you go. That's the Tortoise, which of course I called as #1. Much worse game in that one. We'll go ahead and leave that one in there. Unfortunately, it looks like our push in the north sort of got wrecked. A little bit surprised that they kept pushing, to be quite honest. But I guess it looked to them like they had enough guys back to guard the cap, and it appears that they did, actually. So this is definitely looking like a loss right here. I don't know what this guy's doing. He made a nice little circle donut right there, though. That is unfortunate. We do have a Badger back there, but he declined to push up. The Bat Chat's causing him trouble right there. So that guy's spotting everybody. That's a nice job. Oh, there's a 130 pushing up. Badger took a shot off him. Alright, well there you go. Let's head on out of here. Head on out of here. Should have taken my own advice and left. There was probably no reason. What drew me back is I felt like maybe they'd be going back to cap, but 3 of them kept pushing, which was fascinating to me that they kept doing that, but they did. Maybe that's what I should have actually expected. Could have kept falling back potentially and give them a little bit more trouble, but then I got 3 pens right in a row and just completely took me right out of the game just like that. Whack, whack, whack. The armor on the Tortoise is going to have a hard time holding up, especially against things like a 110 E4 that's shooting gold, and the WZ, was that also a tier 10? I think that was, I don't know if it was the 9 or the 10. It was Fire and Heat, I think. There's so much pen, and its armor, while thick, is pretty flat. So I did a bad job of kind of angling it a little bit. Sometimes if you chuck some angle in there, it'll throw guys off or maybe force them to miss into your mantlet or things like that. So there you go, folks. I am calling it for the Tortoise, despite that terrible display right there. With the T95 a close second. You guys let me know what you think. What is the best tier 9 TD in the current meta right now? Chuck that down in the comments. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. If you're looking for other ways to do so, you can find that stuff down in the description. We will see ya.